After waking up, everyone first surrounded Seo-hung, bombarding him with questions. Seo-hung firmly believed the coffee water was the prime suspect, a dark force in the drink. The yellow hat in charge of brewing coffee was a headless corpse with blood drained. The killer went all out this time. Massive tiny numbers remain on the glass, with 2 new watches. 2 more will die at 6, leaving 20 minutes to solve the puzzle. Although Seo-hung hid his identity in purpose, that doesn't mean he's the real killer. He's actually a special judicial investigator sent to look into their big boss, Jack. Rumors say Jack's training methods are non-standard. Seo-hung sneaked in to observe, and without solid proof, no one dared draw conclusions. They had just over 10 minutes to find the next trap. Seo-hung, with leg issues, cheered Wensi from behind. Sora found the numbers followed a pattern, likely tied to time. The killer was clearly obsessed with clocks. One stayed to co-write with her. The other 2 started searching the base, but after a whole morning, they couldn't find anything suspicious. Sora's made progress. The numbers relate to time speed, and are light speeds units. The hint may be lighting. So everyone turned off the lights and used UV lamps to continue their exploration. To their surprise, each of their jackets was stuffed with fluorescent powder. Unfortunately, piecing them together yielded no useful words, and time unrelentingly reached 6. Wensi heard strange noises from outside and went to investigate the corridor. To her surprise, a water pipe blew up, followed by light tubes dropping out too. Balls had shored, the pipe burst, flooding the corridor instantly. Soon, Wensi transformed. Luckily, she abandoned her wheelchair and climbed the pipe with hands alone, hanging mid-air as water flooded in. To survive, the power had to be cut. If Seo-hung were the killer, why risk this? Definitely a crisis. Wensi decided to trust Seo-hung and tossed her gun to him. After breaking the handcuffs, he regained his ability to move and quickly climbed along the pipe. He fired repeatedly at the wall, and since it wasn't a concrete wall, the bullet holes became climbing points, allowing Seo-hung to inch closer to the electrical. Others heard the gunshots, rushed over and realized what had occurred. Soon, Seo-hung found the electrical box and cut the power before Wensi fell. Lucky to have dodged the killer's numerous traps, everyone began to believe Seo-hung after realizing just how well versed the killer was in engineering. Making these traps needs timers and remote controls. Curly turned off the valve while explaining, catching everyone's attention. However, everyone suddenly eyed Curly suspiciously. He tightened the valve, inadvertently triggering a trap and starting the Fishing Charlie showdown. A few hidden Fishing Charlies took him out, and they all forgot that the 2 watches represented 2 traps. It was Lucas who just suggested shutting off the water valve, but this alone couldn't prove who the killer was. Then, they found another new watch indicating a time in an hour and a half, leaving the only clue as the letters in the back of their shirt. Wensi, well versed in history, remembered the shirts and deciphered the clue about the renowned nearby island, where over 100 pioneers settled during British rule. However, 2 years later, all of them vanished mysteriously, leaving no trace of their existence, except for the shadow of this word found on a tree. No one knew its true meaning. The killer likely wanted to copy the legend, making them vanish. Why did the killer act? Since they now understood the background and motives, they could find the killer's flaws and utilize the advanced equipment available for their investigation. The team investigated all clues, not missing any from their fallen comrades. Soon, they found bloody human tissue under Hugh Miles' nails. This may prove he struggled with the killer before death. The genetic test will reveal the killer. First, check blood oxygen to clear suspicion. To clear their suspicions, the team went through a series of checks, and the computer displayed a matching result among them. In short, the killers here hand over weapons before seeing results. Including Wensi, who had insisted on keeping her gun. The matching entity on the screen turned out to be Sarah. It instantly sparked hostility. Sarah frantically denied being the killer. Lucas deemed it illogical, yet that didn't rule out her motive. Perhaps she sought revenge on teammates after being overlooked for promotion. Though Wensi was also passed over, Sarah's sister suffered a tragic fate after getting drunk. The killer discarded her body in a body of water, and the FBI intervened, yet they could never ascertain the killer's true identity. Such hatred is unforgettable, causing Sarah to develop whole water syndrome. With only 10 minutes before the trap triggers, she staunchly denied under any interrogation. Could this be the killer's trap designed to make them turn on each other? Meanwhile, Nicole appeared quite flustered, possibly because she uncovered the bloody tissue. She insisted that she could also be framed. Lucas seemed more inclined to trust Sarah, while Nicole realized she wasn't trusted and didn't want to stay with them. To clear her suspicion, Sarah analyzed the killer's traits, knowing they weren't motivated by past grievances. Only those utterly disrespecting life strictly adhered to rules. It required knowledge of everyone's strengths and weaknesses, meaning the deaths were not random. The captain's demise was due to his love for rushing to the front lines. Huey Mao was obsessed with coffee, having a cup every noon. Curly loved mechanical principles and always helped with related issues. Clearly, the killer customized traps for each of them. Among the remaining 5, Vince was a history buff but had an impulsive personality, while Lucas was strong and well. However, he gets easily nervous in crises. Sarah has whole water syndrome, recalling her dead sister near water. Time flew and execution neared. That morning, every vending machine dropped cigarettes at the same time, and poor Nicole had just quit smoking. Facing such a situation was simply she didn't expect that some concentrated acid had been added to the cigarettes, and by the time they found Nicole, her insides were rapidly turning into juice. Her face turned nearly unrecognizable. Suffering far exceeded being shot. Her life ended, 4 left for next challenge. Just as they were discussing Sarah's suspicions, Jack's voice unexpectedly echoed over the intercom, asking if they were enjoying the game. Did he discover Xiao Hong's? Did he orchestrate all this for self-preservation? With this thought in mind, Lucas hurriedly uncuffed Sarah, theorizing that Jack might still be on the island, hiding in the spot the initial Vince, unwilling to risk it, was held by Xiao Hong. Realizing his gun was empty, he had to drop out to survive. Vince couldn't access the ammunition depot outside, so he headed to the freezer in the Fugue building, scavenging a stock from a fallen teammate.